Welcome to Apothecary After Dark, the official podcast of Amityville Apothecary.
This is what real witches talk about when the doors are locked, the lights are low, and the incense is still smoldering.
From spell work and shadow work to hot takes on hexes, healing, and everything in between, we're serving up magic, mystery, and a little bit of mischief.
So pour a cup of your favorite libation, light that protection candle, and settle in. It's about to get witchy. Hey, everybody. Welcome. We are here. So excited to welcome Amy Blackthorn to the podcast. And I got to tell you, Amy taught us firsthand how to break out of, what was it? Like electrical tape? Duct tape.
Yep.
So I will tell you that if I get kidnapped, which by the way, nobody would ever kidnap me because it'd be like,
Never say never. Never say never.
Not good.
You want Amy by your side.
well, no, I know how to get out of duct tape now.
Well, she's pretty badass. And Amy has many lives, one of which is head of security, but the other is green witch and protection witch and shadow work witch and all the things. So, Amy, how did you get started? And tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really lucky as I'm one of those kids who wandered in on my own and just got accepted. I was in the second or third, it was the summer between second and third grade. And I wandered over in our brand new yard and I found an azalea. I didn't know that at the point. And I sat down and I'm looking at this beautiful fuchsia flower thinking this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Moving from inner city where there's barely a tree per block to having 2 trees of our very own. I thought we were super rich. And so I'm sitting down with this beautiful azalea and I brushed against one of the flowers and the poor flower just fell out. And I'm thinking, I'm going to get in trouble. I broke a flower. And I look down and there's a little seed. It's just a hint of black on this beautiful green seed. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, flowers exist to make seeds. Like how, it's like the secrets of the universe just opened up in my head. It wasn't until I was 11 that I found my older sister's copy of Wicca, A Guide for a Solitary Practitioner by Scott Cunningham. And
Amazing.
I was it. I'm like, this is what I've been talking about here, people. Like, let's do it.
But did she let you like read it or did she yell at you and say, don't touch my stuff and then like slam the door on you?
Neither one. So we shared a bedroom. So she came home from school one day with her best friend, Christine. And they're both sneaking and giggling and covering their mouths and whispers. And I'm thinking, she must have some really good candy in there because she's guarding it with her life. Well, the best way to get your younger sibling involved in your business is to tell them they're not invited. I didn't know this at the time, but I figured it out. We waited until Christine had left for the night. Everyone falls asleep. And I slide out of my bed like the Pink Panther on my tippy toes and my little fingertips to go to her book bag, opened it one tooth at a time until I see what's in her bag. I'm expecting like a candy bar or something fabulous. And I peek in and there's a book. I'm like, okay, this looks cool. I'll read it. And so I sneak back to my bed and read it by the light of the gas station down the street under the covers just to see what this was. And my goodness, I finished that in an hour or so. And I'm like, this is my personality for the rest of my life.
Oh my God. I love that. Little sister's going to creep. Totally.
It's funny. I wound up going and telling my family. I was by 15. I started telling my family. And my Aunt Peep, who is more a mom than my own mother, I told her first. I'm like, if anybody's going to get mad at me, it would be Peep. She loves me. I could never do anything wrong in her eyes. And so I told her, sat her down. Oh, Peep, I'm a witch. And I bring Cunningham and I show her and we talk. And 7 days, 1 week to the day, Holly comes in to say the same thing. And I apparently stole her thunder. Peep says, oh yeah, Amy told me all about that last week. Like, we're good.
She must have been so mad. Like, what?
Oh, I bet. I'm sure she screwed up all of her courage to tell Peep. And she's like, that's not even a thing. No thunder, no lightning, just awesome.
That's hilarious.
It's so funny because I don't know if you're aware of this, or I'm sure you must be aware of this, on especially the TikTok, that poor Cunningham, I sometimes feel like he gets like beaten about the face and neck a little bit, that the younger kids aren't
Yep.
so like appreciative or listen, like and every once in a while, like I'll throw like elbows and fists into the mosh pit of TikTok, right?
Yes, do it.
Where I'm like, listen, you guys, like, not that you always have to listen to your elders, but also you have to understand like the time in which we lived and what was available to us. Like you had to steal Scott Cunningham out of your sister's backpack, or because like also like what library had that?
We had
like,
very limited resources available to us.
Like
so,
that's what we had.
Yeah.
So like, I know it's like, popular with the in kids and the social to be like, it's no good. But like, I think there's such an important place in history. It makes me sad.
I think there needs to be more education and learning from the OGs, and expansion of mind and education about all things like of all different types of practices.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of when I was in college in, the dinosaur age with the Flintstones. And
well, you're as old as I am, so
I know.
Don't date me.
And I was in music theory, right?
Ooh.
And they make you learn and compose and learn the music theory of Bach. You're not allowed to just like jump in and write in like the style of Stravinsky. You have to start at the very beginning.
Right.
You have to get these foundational rules.
Yeah.
Before you could throw rules out, you have to understand why the rules were there in the first place. Right?
1,000%.
Right? And
absolutely.
So as I was trying to like explain to like the newer witches, the young ones, I'm like, okay, you can say that you're not enamored of a path and our practices are our own, of course, but also you have to understand why there are rules or why there was foundational practices.
Absolutely. When we, even in, I started in martial arts in my teens, and you have to go from white belt all the way through to black before you can start throwing things away. We have to teach you how to paint inside the lines before you can get rid of the coloring books.
Mm-hmm.
And
Great
there's
analogy.
so much. Thank you. There's so much that I wish I could just beam into the brains of new witches, because there's such an easy accessibility that we did not have. And we are very lucky for them to be able to get to the point where they can, that they're like, okay, well, so-and-so said this is bad, so I'm just going to skip it. Absolutely not. Read everything. Read, especially the things you think you won't agree with, because that helps form your opinion on what is your actual opinion rather than the regurgitated opinion of someone you don't actually know. There's that saying that, you're not going to take advice from somebody you wouldn't take criticism, or you're not going to take criticism from someone you wouldn't take advice from. And so if you can read these books and decide, even if you absolutely are like, Hexy's not for me, learn what it is, learn how to do it so you can defend against it. No one says you have to do this to learn about it. And that's the distinction that's being lost.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
What are some foundational books or authors that you're like, you know what, this is an important, it's an important source of knowledge, whether you agree or disagree, but to your point, like what are some key things that have been instrumental in your path?
It's funny, when Weave the Liminal by Laura Tempest Ackroft came out, my first thought, and has been echoed in so many people, was the minute I finished it, I'm like, this is the book I wish I had when I was reading Cunningham. It's not that Cunningham was bad, it's that it's a little dated at this point, but it's not that the information is bad. But Tempest gives you the tools to then create something from nothing, to create your own path rather than just winging it 24 hours a day. That's exhausting. There's no, it's not just that there's no culpability, but there's no stewardship. There's no mentorship. And so when people are saying, I don't have a teacher, I don't have anyone nearby, that's something that can be changed, but you can't edit a blank page. There's nothing there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, what about the importance, in your opinion, about learning from the people that have the credentials instead of like there's such a plethora of people with opinions and like, oh, I have a coven, oh, I do this, but like, it's kind of TikTok level of checking the cred, I guess, or now there's so much information.
Oh,
We had
yes.
no information. There's so much information. What about just
Look at the wall behind you. Absolutely.
So what would you advise?
Anyone can say, I'm high priestess of X. And it's often very common when someone doesn't have the confidence in their own craft to say, oh, I'm going to dub myself a high priestess because I've been doing this. And that's between you and your gods. The important thing is when you're looking at something, try and find some supporting evidence, just like with any other practice, just like any other understanding, any other topic. We say, okay, Amy Blackthorn has 8 books on witchcraft. She says some cool stuff that I like. She wants to make sure that I have the ability to walk the streets home safely. That sounds pretty awesome to me. While Susie Spells a Lot has no presence, she hasn't taught anywhere. No one knows her name, and that name recognition isn't just for TikTok. Delaware is the second smallest state, so if someone comes in to teach at a local shop, I'm like, okay, who are our mutual friends? If they have 0 mutual friends with you, and you know everyone, air quotes, that should say something about who you're talking to. If nobody knows who they are, if you can't ask someone, hey, have you ever heard of this person? In the age of TikTok, we say, okay, well, they have a platform, therefore they must know something. And that's the opposite of what happens, because they could have picked up a book last week and decided to call themselves a high priestess because it makes them feel good about their practice. And I mean, we've all been there. Oh, my grandmother's totally a witch and she made it okay. It's the witchcraft equivalent of, she goes to a different school, you wouldn't know her.
I actually saw somebody.
Love that.
I saw a young practitioner on TikTok talking about, she's like, well, my parents are this type of witch, so that's my cred. And I'm like, well, but
no,
that my mom is a working musician and nobody's hiring me to give a concert. So
exactly. You may have an appreciation for music because your parent works in music. Just right, like if your father is an astrophysicist, you might really have a yen for physics. But guess what? This is not inherited knowledge. Your genes might remember being a witch 200 years ago, being burned at the stake in Salem. Not a thing. But guess what? Unless you lived that experience, it doesn't count. Like, you have to go out and get your own understanding. That's why parents don't teach their craft to their younger children in any society as a journeyman, as a individual apprenticeship. That's not how that works. You don't understand your parents, and it's too close of a relationship. When I'm a firearms instructor and I'm teaching someone how to be safe, my husband taught me to shoot is not a thing. That's not how that works. Because they are related to you, they're going to have a softer set of standards. They might let you get away with something that's potentially harmful. You got to go out and talk to somebody who you don't actually know yet. But always try and verify your credits. Go to your local pagan pride. Go to your local events. Even if you think there aren't any, check and see if there's a local shop and go and hang out there. Do your shopping, but also try and meet some new people, because everyone's going to have a different experience, and that gets you outside of your own head. Just like I can't edit my own books, the amazing Judica Isles and the copy editor team do that because I can't see my own mistakes. I cannot edit my own book. You cannot see the mistakes in your practice yet.
It's so true.
That's so true. And I honestly think it's so important too, you said, I appreciate, go to your local shops, but meet the people, go to the events, meet new people. It's so critically important, I think, to step away from, the virtual world. And I know the virtual world is safe. And for those of us with anxiousness or anxiety, it's sometimes feel so much safer to be in, online spaces than in-person spaces, but it really is so important to start meeting the people in your community. And I think that the witchy community, for the most part, is some of the most welcoming, at least our community is.
Yeah. Well, actually, this reminds me of when Amy came up to New York to visit us at the shop, and she did an author talk, which was a packed house. And I said, you can't go back until you come next door and finish signing all of the remaining books that we have of yours. And we had quite a lot. So, before you headed out, you were in the bookshop where we're seated, where I am right now, and she was just, enjoying her coffee and signing the books. And a customer walked in, and Amy was just like in her own little, writing. And I said to the customer, I said, "Oh, is there anything I can help you with?" She's like, "I'm just looking around." And she picked up your book. And I said, "Well, that's the author right there." And what happened, Amy?
Oh my goodness. She lost all composure. She said, she couldn't make it the night before, and she'd always wanted to meet me. So she was just trying to get the vibe because she was in town. And so would you like to take a picture? She started to cry.
And she asked if she can hug you, and you guys gave a big hug, and she was like meeting a hero. She has many of your books, and the opportunity to meet you in the flesh, and she already was such a fan. Like, it was just such a gift and such a special moment that I bore witness to. It was like it was really just a beautiful moment. So that was really cool.
That's awesome. I missed that. That's amazing. I'm still reminiscing of our amazing hot pot experience.
That was amazing.
That was great. So it's holiday time, right? People might, I want to talk about holiday family dinners.
Yeah.
Because they stress me out, man. I don't know if you
well, you have a wonderful protection book. So I recommend the protection.
Of course we sold out of the protection book because that's like the one that people go to the most. But I want to know, what are we supposed to do when we're like I don't know why our families are oftentimes the belly of the beast. That's what it feels like for me sometimes when I'm like walking into a family dinner. I'm like, like I feel like I have to throw up the most protective, like energetic armor when like I'm with aunts and uncles. So what could you tell us?
My favorite thing is to work my magic in plain sight. So for family dinners, if I'm cooking, I will make a potion that brings everybody together and also brings down the level of drama. Like I'll add a pinch of lemon balm because it's a sedative magic, but it's also aligned with the moon and Diana and the connection of our emotional centers. So it brings down the drama and it makes people feel more connected. And that magic is something they're bringing into themselves. They feel this is a really lovely punch. There's no alcohol in it. Everyone can have it. But the connection that we're making takes the egos out of it. So coming at it from the perspective of, okay, I'm going to make something that brings us all together. People think of, big bubbling cauldrons full of off-green liquid, and they think of potions as being a poison. And it's absolutely the furthest thing from the truth. We can turn anything into a potion. Your morning glass of water can be a potion. You just have to imbibe the energy that you're putting into it. You have to bring forth that energy. And if it's with a soda that you made from scratch in your kitchen, even better. In Botanical Brews, I was teaching you how to take the fruits of your season and make them even better. So if you are wandering through the grocery store getting your Christmas turkey and you find a bowl of watermelon and you think, oh, it's December watermelon, it's going to taste like TV static. Make it into a watermelon shrub. The minute the vinegar hits that cell wall and releases all the sugar and flavor into that syrup, you now have an amazing base for cocktails, mocktails, sodas, any of that with that magical twist. All of the stone fruit family are actually part of the rose family. So any stone fruit, you could get a bunch of cherries and make a soda out of those beautiful, gorgeous black cherries, and go that next extra step saying, I want to bring loving communion with my family rather than, I hate these people, can I go?
Well, what I love about that, everything that you're saying, it's so clever. So she has a book, Blackthorn's Botanical Brews, and not only is it all different types of alcoholic cocktails and potions, as you're talking about, but also, since I don't drink, I really appreciate that there's mocktail, non-alcoholic solutions in there too. And, it's magic in such a unique and subtle way that everybody can enjoy, and you don't even know that it's really magic. So it's really like a great gift. And as people are surviving the holidays, getting through the holidays, enjoying the holidays, and then the aftermath of starting the new year, I think it's really very well done. Thank you for that.
Of course. And with dry January just around the corner, there's so many different ways that you can imbibe your magic without relying on alcohol as a lubricant, I suppose. So all of the mentions of alcohol, like the bar chapter has alcoholic references in it, but for the kitchen chapter does not. For people who might be activated by the mentions of alcohol, we can skip that. We can go over here. If there's a magical use of an alcohol in this book, I provide a sober substitution, because I want to make sure that everybody feels seen and heard, and they're not relying on that. Plus, in the very back of Botanical Brews, there's a chapter on what to do with the libations you've created. So there's my personal favorite recipe, the one people have threatened others over, is a cocoa rubbed pork tenderloin, and you throw it in the oven with an apple cider reduction, and it just melts the pork. You can cut it with a knife. You can cut it with a fork. It's just that tender when it comes apart. I teach you how to make ginger beer, and then we poached pork chops in the ginger beer. There's a lavender black pepper cheesecake recipe in there, because lavender and black pepper are protective, and they help increase communication. So if you're having a dinner party, make this cheesecake and get people to talk to each other.
That's awesome. And a lot of times I think, cooking gets and recipes and drinking and eating gets sort of passed over a lot.
Yep.
But also people like, I want to be a witch, or how do I incorporate my craft, or how do I go from what I'm reading about and get it into my everyday life? Like kitchen, cooking, community is such an easy way. Like those are the opportunities to make your magic and then see the effects of it.
Totally.
In real time.
Yeah.
There's magic that we're doing, and that's a long-term goal. I might see this come to fruition in the next 6 months, but sometimes you want to know that your magic is working right now. And it's creating those sodas. It's developing plant relationships. In sacred plant magic, I got a lot of people come to me saying, hey, I can't be a green witch because I kill all my plants. And it's my job to remind you, you don't have to work with live plant matter. You don't have to keep plants alive. You can work with the essential oil of the plant. You can work with the spirit of that plant. In sacred plant magic, I talk a bit about cannabis, because it's becoming so much, it's such a divisive plant, we'll say. In some places it's legal, in some places it's not legal. So guess what? We're going to talk about working with the spirit of that plant material when there's no plant material present. Learning to deal with the spirit of cannabis for the whole making and the sedative, I'm safe in my own body magic that doesn't require you to interact with that physical plant matter. Because in some states, in some countries, that's illegal. So I want to make sure that everyone is included. I want to make sure that people understand that this is something you can pick up, and you can understand that this is not only part of your practice, but this is for you. This is for everyone. There's no licensing bureau. No one's going to check. It's okay.
I love that. Well, no, some people might get nervous about, cannabis, they're
Yes.
like, so you're right. It is so divisive. And I think it also generational issues, or, whether you're comfortable with any type of substance. So it's wonderful that people can tap into the spirit and the essence of the plant itself without having to ingest it or have it physically. And, sometimes you just can't physically get to a plant.
Exactly. When we took it about cannabis as an example, it was because the number of TikTok witches who were like, oh, let's talk about poison plants. And there's no warnings. There's no caveats. It's just, oh, hey, this is poison and this is cool. Poison's cool. My loves, this is how people die. The gentleman who founded Clan of Tubal-Cain, it's actually debated whether it was intentional or unintentional, but was poisoned to death. He made his own drink and consumed it, and then is no longer with us. So it's widely debated. Was that accidental or was that intentional self-harm? It's so important to respect the plants that we're talking to. I included that whole chapter on how to connect with the spirits of poison plants so you can get to know them. They are spirits with agency, just like any other spirit you're dealing with. You don't have to have the poison in front of you. You don't have to look up Banefolk, which, go and check on the things that you're looking at, but you don't have to take a poison just to be one of the cool kids. You can meet these plants in their own space, in their own time. And when you divide that in half and you say, I don't have to have this plant material in front of me to work with it, that lets you work with plants outside your biome, outside your continent, and outside your epoch. You can work with plants that haven't existed on this plane for 1 million years. These plants are coming back. Sorry?
So, amazing. I love that. That's a great point. That's actually a great, unbelievable point. They might not even exist anymore.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, Amy, you know that I could talk to you for hours, and we have a very limited amount of time. But the beautiful thing is you have all of these wonderful, diverse books because you are a plant expert. So, I mean, we have the Sacred Plant Magic. We have the Botanical Brews. You have Blackthorn's Protection Magic, which I highly recommend to everyone. You have this cute social media for every day of the year magic book, which is like this cute little book here. How can people find you? Because we want people to have all of the knowledge and to be able to find you on all the social media as well.
So the very first place you should check is amyblackthorn.com, because you can download the first 30 pages of each of my books so you can know if my voice is the one you want in your head. You can check out Amy Blackthorn Author on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook. I want to be as accessible as possible because I don't want anyone to feel like that anyone's gatekeeping by saying, hey, we want to help you. We want to be of service. Like, ask us. That's what we're here for. People have forgotten what an incredible gift the two of you have given us by having a physical shop. People say, oh, I can get that on Amazon. You can't get community on Amazon, my love. You cannot get support and love and an actual human who you can ask a question. The understanding that people have lost is that ChatGPT is not a search engine. You cannot ask ChatGPT to write a spell for you because it has no context. It has no understanding. It's going to spit out words that sound reasonably okay. That does not make them accurate.
That is true.
To the local shop. Go and ask someone behind the counter. Is it okay if I do this thing? What if I'm worried about cultural appropriation? Talk about the things that you're scared of and find someone who's willing to help you deal with it, because that's one of the best things about having a community. You don't have to do this by yourself. I don't care if my first fan letter was from a woman in Tibet who apologized for buying a digital copy of one of my books because owning a physical copy could get her killed.
Oh my gosh.
The fact that she was willing to risk death to hear what I had to say. You can find books anywhere. You can find community anywhere. You just have to take the risk for your own personal self. How much are you willing to risk? How important is this to you? Because this woman was willing to risk death to understand who witches are and what we do and how to connect with yourself and work in concert with those elements. You can make community anywhere.
And
powerful.
And we need community.
Yes.
More than ever before. We need community. We need each other. And we need to realize that we're in it together. We love you.
I'm so grateful.
You guys are just the best. I just want to hug you both.
Virtual hug. Come see us again soon.
Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. It's only a 3-hour drive. I could totally do that.
Come on up. Come for hot pot.
Yes.
Amy, thank you so much. We appreciate you. We love having you. We look forward to scheduling more fun with you soon.
And
oh, my goodness. Thank you so much. Thank you.
We adore you. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. Right.
See you soon.
That's all for tonight, witches, but the magic doesn't stop here.
Be sure to follow Apothecary After Dark wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
Leave us a comment or review. We'd love to hear what's stirring in your cauldron.
And you can always find us at shopamityvilleapothecary.com or at Amityville Apothecary across all the socials.
Until next time, keep your wards up, your wands at the ready, and your spell work sharp.